Nancy Brinker's promise to her dying sister fueled the most recognizable fundraiser today. The Susan G. Komen for the Cure Foundation takes a stand against this terrible disease, breast cancer. It helps to fund research to put an end to the suffrage of family and friends. Nancy was born to Eleanor and Norman E. Brinker on December 6, 1946, in the town of Peoria, Illinois. She had an older sister named Susan.
Nancy attended college at University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. In 1968, she graduated and set forth to start her career in business and marketing.
She landed a job at Neiman Marcus and was on track for a successful career. Little did she know that she would shift gears and lead a movement which would save millions of lives and change the world as we know it.
Who is Nancy Brinker? Well, have you ever seen the pink ribbon symbol? Yes, Nancy Brinker is the founder of the Susan G. Komen for the Cure. Nancy made a promise to her dying sister, Susan, that she would do everything in her power to create this worldwide foundation. The pink ribbon icon, which is instantly recognizable, is a tribute to her sister.
How did she think of the logo, and why pink? Every charity had some sort of ribbon at the time. For example, AIDS had a bright red ribbon. Ribbons were so popular that New York Times declared 1991 to be the year of the ribbons. Nancy thought that a ribbon would be appropriate for the occasion, so the bright pink ribbon was created as the breast cancer symbol.
This all started in 1977 when Nancy's sister, Susan, was diagnosed with breast cancer, a disease rarely discussed in public and about which there is scarce information and few medical options. 1980. Susan G. Komen dies of breast cancer at the age of 36. Before she dies, she asked her sister, Nancy G. Brinker, to promise to do everything possible to end breast cancer.
Armed with $200, a typewriter, and a list of people to call on, Nancy Brinker gathered about 20 friends in her Dallas living room, and the foundation was born on July 22, 1982. The next year, the foundation invited former First Lady and breast cancer survivor Betty Ford to one of the fundraising events, and nearly 700 people showed up. 1983. The first Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure is held in Dallas, Texas, with approximately 800 participants. 1984. Right when Nancy was feeling victorious, Nancy G. Brinker is diagnosed with breast cancer. According to Oregon's Leslie Barker, Brinker, upon learning of her diagnosis, screamed at her doctor, "I want them both off today. Get them off of me." Aside from the mastectomy, Brinker also underwent several rounds of chemotherapy and survived, emerging from the ordeal weakened, bald, and determined to help others win the battle.
1989. Nancy G. Brinker is the first breast cancer advocate named by Ronald Reagan to the Presidential Cancer Panel.
2003. Komen celebrates the 20th anniversary of the Komen Race for the Cure, a series of more than 100 races around the world. It is the largest series of 5K runs/fitness walks in the world. 2010. Komen announces more than $60 million for breast cancer research. Of the more than $1.5 billion Komen has invested since its inception, $540 million has gone to research alone.
Now, this all started in 1982, which is fairly recent to see the impact that she made, but in this amount of time, she has raised millions to help with families and people who have breast cancer.
The very first step towards giving to others is grateful recognition of our own assets. Nancy Brinker.
There are many honors and privileges bestowed on the occupant of this house, but few mean as much to me as the chance to award America's highest civilian medal to the recipients that are here today. The recipients of the Medal of Freedom did not set out to win this or any other award. They did not set out in pursuit of glory or fame or riches. Rather, they set out guided by passion, committed to hard work, aided by persistence, often with few advantages, but the gifts, grace, and good name God gave them. One of the last things Susie Komen did before she passed away was ask her sister Nancy to make her a promise. Nancy promised her she would prevent other families battling breast cancer from hurting the way theirs had. What began with $200 and a list of friends has become a global race for the cure, a campaign that has eased the pain and saved the lives of millions around the world. In the months after her sister's death, Nancy lay awake at night thinking about the promise she had made and wondering whether one person could really make a difference. Nancy's life is the answer.
This is truly a global race, and that's important because we have a global and growing fight. Across the world, a woman dies of breast cancer every 69 seconds. And breast cancer is the leading cancer killer of women worldwide, and many men as well. But breast cancer is a large problem that can be fought with small solutions, and it takes interventions at the community level, and that is why 75% of the money raised today will stay in this area. And let me tell you about the good it does. 2 years ago, a low-income person in this region who feared they had breast cancer had to wait nearly 100 days before they got a diagnosis. Thanks to the funds from this race alone, it now takes 7 days. An early diagnosis means a better chance for survival. And thanks to your help, since our first race for the cure, we have increased the survival rate for breast cancer when caught early to 98%. That's the power of the movement.
Wanda Sykes, comedian. Christina Applegate, actress. Sheryl Crow, musician. Peter Criss, musician.
All of these people have one thing in common: breast cancer. And yes, men can develop breast cancer too.
1 in 1,000 men are diagnosed with breast cancer. Although men do not have milk-producing breast tissue, they can still develop breast cancer within their breast tissue. Although it is possible to develop breast cancer, do not get scared that you have it, guys. Breast cancer develops in only 1% of the male population.
What is breast cancer? Breast cancer starts when a cell in the breast tissue becomes abnormally large, or starts growing too big. If the cell gets too big, it will become a tumor. A tumor can usually be felt as some sort of lump in the area. These tumors can be identified by X-rays, which is the most common first step used in the medical field to identify breast cancer.
Nancy Brinker did a lot to help with breast cancer. She took a stand. She made a difference. Nancy Brinker is still currently the operating CEO at Susan G. Komen for the Cure and living in Dallas, Texas.
We chose to do our project on Nancy because she brought light to an issue that was not receiving any attention at the time. Women were not talking about breast cancer in public. Nancy stepped in and spoke out loud, getting women to share their stories and creating awareness. She not only took a stand against breast cancer, but reshaped the image of a woman in today's society as strong and confident. She showed that even at your weakest moment, you can have the willpower to win.
If you would like to find out more information about Nancy Brinker and her story, please read her book, Promise Me, by Nancy Brinker. It tells about her commitment to helping save the world from this disease, how she helped with this problem, and why.